good afternoon, good evening, good whatever it is, wherever you are. My name's Katie O, and this is Moon Mama Musings. Welcome back to my living room for another day of very strange lighting due to weather. Sorry. For another astrology peephole for today, the 9th of September, 2021. My hair is a mess today, and it's driving me crazy. Very Virgo in little details today. We're in a waxing crescent moon in the sign of Libra. It transited yesterday on the 8th into this wonderful checks and balances kind of a sign. It is a Venusian energy, but it is a very practical part of Venusian energy. The very calculated and well thought out and airy and innovative side of our delightful Venusian energy. So this is a day of quiet contemplation, I've been feeling like. There's not a whole lot going on. So all the way through the month of September, we've got shitloads of transits, shitloads of aspects every single day. And the 9th of September, funny enough, is one of the few days that only has 2 things going on, which is like weird. Like, it's just like, you're like, I'm not used to this anymore. Like, I'm used to so much moving and shaking that, like, what? It's like taking a breath for a second. It's like that space between 2 gusts of wind. The, like, place between the 2 waves hitting the shore, you know? It's like that real, like, moment. So it's a grounding day, my friends. It is still Virgo season, and today with this Libra moon energy, they're asking you to be flexible in your emotions and in your subconscious, flexible in your schedules, flexible in your communication, flexible, but in a sort of reflective, interior, go within kind of a way. All right, so maybe you're going to be acting in service today, but the service that you're acting in is actually a service to yourself in some way. So there is this very checks and balances kind of energy here. Yeah, I was just getting ready, and I was cleaning out the deck that I wanted to use for the card of the day. And oh my God, loud and clear, we had Pocahontas, Colors of the Wind, screaming into my immediate thought processes. I was just like, oh my God. And of course, I sang the whole song to myself and belted it out and freaking hand motioned, and, you know, as you do, right? When you sing Disney songs to yourself alone in your apartment to your dog, right? That's what normal people do, right? But anyway, can you paint with all the colors of the wind? This is the energy right now. The moon is in Libra. It's an airy energy with regards to our emotions and our subconscious. And we're understanding the flexibility of those things. But the Virgo sun, our sense of self, is still calling us to be able to be tangible about those things, which is an enigma all in and of itself, right? But can you paint with the colors of the wind, right? Can you take something that is fluid and airy, like a moon in Libra, and bring it back into yourself in this sun sign of Virgo? Can we marry these two? Can we bring this Venusian compassion into this act of union with ourself? Yeah, it's really interesting. But it's a stop and think about it kind of day. It's like, I'm not telling you that anything is gonna. I mean, look, if something cool happens, fantastic. I'm like super pleased for you, and please send me a message. I would love to hear your story. Story time is my favorite thing, by the way. I love story time. But it feels a lot like we're thinking about all this stuff right now. All right. Yeah. So we got two aspects I want to talk about. First one, the moon, again in the sign of Libra, is conjunct with Mercury in the sign of Libra. Ta-da! Fantastic. All right. Mercury is in its retrograde shadow coming up. If it's not, I still haven't looked it up. I'll be honest, I've been lazy. I feel like it's not really super important. Either way, we need to know that a Mercury retrograde is coming, and the energies will start to affect each and every one of you individually at different times, I'm hearing. So just be aware that there are going to be times where communication is baffled, where you feel like you can't get the words out, that maybe your internet or your electricity or your devices are acting up on you, all of that kind of stuff, right? Yay! Just know that it's coming. All right. Anyway, this is Invasion of the Body Snatchers of Mercury. Mercury in Libra is a nice compassionate energy, but it's a very fair and balanced energy. Remember, it's about doing the intellectual, communicative, technological things necessary in order to balance the scales out now. We've done a lot of thinking. You know, we got real about what Venusian energy was for us while Venus was in Virgo. Yeah, and then it moved into Libra and it started going like, okay, now we can start getting actually like, we can start thinking about this a little bit more. We can actually start conceptualizing this. We can start like, you know, we start actually moving the things with regards to our Venusian energies, whatever they may be for you, to find this beautiful balance so that by the time we move into Scorpio, which by the way, guys, is in 3 days, Venus goes to Scorpio. By the time we go to Scorpio, we can utilize the passion of Scorpio Venus instead of being caught with our pants down and not being prepared. You know, it's like, we know the war is coming. We should be putting on our armor right away. Yeah. And I don't want you to get all, oh my God, the war. No, guys, don't. These are analogies, right? These are all analogies. I'm not saying that there is a war coming, my friends. I'm just saying that, like, look, okay, don't think about it as a war. Let's think about it in terms of the grasshopper and the ant. This is the perfect analogy for this. This is the grasshopper and the ant, all right? The ant has seen this thing coming, right? And does all this necessary work. They work. And by the time the winter comes, they've got their stores of food. They've got their place to live. Everything's cool, right? And the grasshopper's like, la-di-da-di-da, I'm going to play my fiddle. I'm going to fuck around. Dee-dee-dee-dee-dee. Yeah, okay, cool. By the time winter comes, the grasshopper's like, oh, shit, I knew it was coming because it comes every year. But I didn't prepare. Oh no, what am I going to do, right? And the ant's like, well, you know, I saw you were a twat and I'm a nice person, so I prepared more and you can come live with me, right? Good thing the ant is a fucking nice person, right? But that's imbalanced. Maybe that's what's happened all the way through your life, your whole life. This is a time where the grasshopper now needs to learn. It's now the time the grasshopper gets slapped a little bit and the grasshopper has to go, okay, I'm actually going to collect my own food and find my own shelter. All right, so can you paint with all the colors of the wind, my darlings? The grasshopper's got to start twiddling his fiddle in a different way, let's just say. All right, so what do I've got here? I just want to read, let's see what I've got in my notes. First of all, I've got ask for help. In this energy, right, Mercury invading our subconscious, our intellect, our thought process, our communication styles, maybe even the technology. That could also, for me, kind of tell you that maybe some of you guys are absorbing way too much media. Okay, don't listen to what you hear in the news. Don't listen to what your friend sends you. Guys, use your own discernment. Trust that the universe will bring the information that's important to you to you. Don't go seeking it out, because that's when you get caught up in things that's when you get caught up in confusion. Yeah, that's when the balance goes off. That's when Mercury in Libra is no freaking good. That's when the grasshopper goes, oh, well, I'm just going to play one more song 50,000 songs later. All right. Danger, bay, warning, okay? All right, ask for help. Ask for help if you need it, okay? Ask for help if you need it, right? The grasshopper always asks for help too late. But if you ask for help in the first place, if he goes, hey, ant, I'm not so good at planning things. I'm not so good because I act too brashly and I fly by the seat of my pants a little bit too much. Hey, can you help me make a plan? Yeah, and the ant's like, yes, of course I will help you make a plan. I would love to help you make a fucking plan so that I don't have to bail you out again. I don't want to bail you out anymore. I want you to bail you out. Yes, ask me for help in a productive way, and I am here for you. Yes. You know, that little ant is like, woohoo. Super pleased to help with that plan, okay? So ask for help. That thing that you want to seek guidance from is going to be able to help you. And not only that, it's going to help them to help you. And it's going to make them feel so good. And they're going to love it. And you're going to love it. And everyone's going to be happy. And it's going to be fucking fantastic. All right, guys? You want to be happy. You want your dreams come true. Let it come in. All right? Just like take the necessary steps to do it. And you've been given really, really good cues all this time. And you've kind of been resistant. But now there's this shift of energy where you're listening a little bit more, right? So listen, yeah, through this moon in Libra. And when you hear, that's when you know which pebble to move to which side of the scale. Okay, so get into a really receptive mode, I hear. Open up to communication, open up to ideas, open up to development, open up to technology, open up to all of these Mercurian energies, all right, my friends? Be open, be fluid, paint with all the colors of the wind. Cheesy. I love my cheesy analogies, my friends. I really do. And I'm not even sorry. You know what? I'm not even a little bit sorry, because it's fantastic. I love it. All right. The moon is also opposite Chiron. Chiron, retrograde in the sign of Aries. Like I mentioned, I believe it was yesterday's Peephole, I mentioned that I like Aries very much because as much as some people associate it with certain tarot cards, I always see it as the fresh-faced leap of faith of the zodiac. It's the very first one, right? It's the baby of the zodiac. It's the starter. It's what happens. It's like that child, right? Who doesn't have the scathing experience of life to make it all jaded and upset and acting from a wounded place. It doesn't have those wounds, right? So it's almost like our wounded warrior right now is pretending like it's never been wounded before. Yeah? And that's a double-edged sword in and of itself. Because there is a certain aspect of, yeah, pretending that you're not hurting can have its purpose, but it's also just wearing another mask, right? But with this moon in Libra, this is no longer using that energy for that kind of stuff. It's not like pretending like we're not hurting, pretending like we don't have feelings, pretending like we're not affected by something that happened to us in our childhood because we don't deem it traumatizing enough for some reason to actually have value as something that could have possibly negatively affected you even now in life. Okay, and it might not even be your childhood. This could be like you might have had a relationship 5 years ago that seemed so mundane. Like it was like a few months with somebody that you don't even know why is keep on coming up into your head. But for some reason, there was something about that person and that relationship that actually did affect you. And you don't have to, and right now with the moon opposite Chiron, it's like the moon in Libra is saying, look, we want to balance this energy now, okay? Are you going to continue to go, I am fine, the dog in the burning house, everything is fine? Or are you going to look at this on the other side of Aries energy where you can just be like, look, I'm going to act as if the past doesn't wound me and look at this situation objectively. It's almost like some of you have such intense wounds that you are so resistant to look at that you need to look at somebody else's experience. You need to help somebody else with their experience in order to go, oh my God, the reason why this resonates so well for me and I'm so feeling connected with helping this person is because they're living the same experience as I am. They've got a different face on their experience. It's got different people involved. It's maybe not even, maybe it's about their career and it's about your love life, whatever. But you need to help these people to be able to look objectively at your own situation. It's like looking at it through your own sense of self lens makes you unable to see it for its whole entire perspective. But when you look at somebody else, when you move over and look at it fully objectively, putting on this full energy leap of faith, going, all right, I am going to put my best foot and do my best effort, and here we go. Somebody comes to you advice and you're like, I want to help you, okay? And you're giving them the best advice that you possibly can because you want to help them genuinely. So it comes back to what I was saying a few days ago. Sorry, I know this is all kind of jumpy all over the place. But hey, Mercury retrograde energy affects us all in different times in different ways, right? It's what I was saying a few days ago about, I've lost my train of thought. What was I going to say? I guess it's not that important. Guess it's not that important. Anyway, whatever. You know what an opposition, though, is. We're talking about the moon opposite Chiron, just to bring this back here. An opposition is a tug of war. Either they pull so hard against each other that they snap, or they start seeing eye to eye. So the moon in Libra is trying to sober up Chiron and realize that being in Aries, you don't have to pretend like nothing's wrong. You just have to be willing to move forward with a new set of eyes and willing to set your past experience aside sometimes and look at things from a completely objective standpoint so that you can get a better sense of sort of footing about what you need to do in your individual situation. Because, Aries also is the sign of the self. Yeah, you're not looking for somebody else's advice about your wounds when Chiron is in the sign of Aries. No, you're asking yourself about your wounds when Chiron is in Aries, my friends. And when it's in retrograde in Aries, I feel like it lightens the load a little bit, right? Maybe Chiron regularly in Aries is kind of going, everything is fine. But when we bring it into retrograde, it's that sobering feeling, all right? So our past wounds are pulling us and we're resisting. But it's time to compromise with Chiron. It's time to take the leap of faith on yourself. Leap into your subconscious and take it head on. And this is something that's going to ultimately be for your benefit. All right, so I think that the key in all of this is that this moon in Libra, like the takeaway message from this entire Peephole that I want to tell you, is that this moon in Libra brings us the compassionate sense of balance and the compassionate eyes that we need to make the necessary micro adjustments about what it takes to change our perspective on our past wounding. How do we go from sort of pushing it aside or brushing it under a carpet or going, everything is fine while the house is burning down around you, to saying, I can take this same, maybe, I don't want to say detached. No, it's objective. I can take a same objective stance over my past, but use it as a benefit instead of as dark colored glasses in the nighttime, if you know what I mean. Like Chiron is about shadows, right? So when you're in the shadow lands, you don't want to wear your sunglasses at night, right? You want to be able to see as clearly as possible. But if you've got Chiron in Aries and it's doing the everything is fine, I'm pretending like nothing is wrong here, that's like wearing sunglasses at night. Okay, so don't Corey Hart yourself, my friends. Wow, there's so many good analogies. Like, I don't even know what I'm going to call this video because there's just so many good ones. Man, they've been on fire lately with giving me the comparisons. I love this kind of stuff. Literally, I was just saying to a friend, oh, and look at that. The Justice card is under the deck before I even start pulling cards. The Justice card. I've been talking about this Libra energy, the whole deck. So confirmation. I was talking to a friend about this literally before I started filming this, and it's just like, it's so funny. All this beautiful confirmation. Anyway, yeah, I'll get on with it. Sorry, it's the time of tangents. It's the time of all of this. But in any case, I love pop culture, right? I love watching movies. I like I like cartoons. I like all this kind of stuff. I like everything. I just love movies and film and TV shows and all this stuff. And sometimes I go through phases where I get detached from them. And lately I've been going on this phase of going back to old movies and remembering new things about them. You know, like I watched the old Peter Pan, and I always had this like fluffy idea in my head about how Tinkerbell was always so cute and so lovely. But she tries to kill Wendy. She's a total jerk, actually. And then I watched Mary Poppins yesterday, and I totally forgot that the mom is a suffragette. You know, like she's like going out to rallies and has her little sash on. It's super cute. And that also, Dad in that one is like one of these characters that you really think is never ever going to change. Like you don't have hope for him all the way through the movie that he'll ever see eye to eye with Mary Poppins. But Mary Poppins being like herself, first of all, but like kind of a stone cold jerk herself in a way, but just in the right way, made him throw the institution away and you know. Anyway, the moral of the story is I really love imagery and I love comparison, and it's like having a nice repertoire of things to refer to in these videos, in this card reading, in this energy reading, and whatever it is I feel like a very relatable way for all of you guys to kind of get your minds around what I'm trying to talk about, you know? Maybe some of you guys, your favorite movie ever is Mary Poppins, right? So as soon as I said Mary Poppins, you're like, oh my God, what is she talking about, right? And that was a message for you. So, I don't know, I think it's all just really lovely. It all just relates back. And anyway, Two of Wands is the card that we've got here. I like this, the Two of Wands. Two of Wands, we got this card yesterday in live. And it was all about, I'm being called back to that energy. It was in relation to the tower falling. There was a tower card that came out that was super unique, and that tower wasn't falling. In fact, the only thing that was falling in that tower was one person, not two, like in every tower card. One person, and that person was wearing a mask. And the top of the tower had these like, you know, like broadcast symbols, like the little lightning bolts coming out of it, like you would see in an old school, like a broadcast symbol, you know what I mean? And I got this idea from this, that it was almost like this person was wearing a mask, so he was kicked out of the tower and wasn't allowed to broadcast his message anymore because he was wearing some mask that he had put in place. Yeah, that no longer served them, but they weren't willing to let it go. So something booted them out of the tower, straight out, yeah. But the thing was is that they removed the mask and they got a haircut, and then they were allowed to climb back up the tower. And in that card, there was this like more respectable version of what all of those people looked like in those cards, looking out over the edge of the tower, going like, oh my God, wow, what's coming? So I feel like that's the energy right now. It's chaotic energy. It's really chaotic. Yeah, I mean, from this video, I've been all over the place. I've made reference to about 10 Disney movies. All kinds of different references. I've talked about songs. I've talked about all kinds of different stuff. It's all over the place. So yeah, maybe you've got a lot of different options coming into you. Maybe there's a lot of different ways to look at things. Maybe it's kind of overwhelming. But the thing is that I feel like you're getting a higher perspective. With this galaxy here, you are getting a higher perspective about these options that you're weighing out right now. Two of Wands is often, for me, about weighing out options, about figuring out what makes us passionate. You know, what wand are we going to choose? What magic wand do we want to play with, you know? And I really love that. There's some higher perspective happening here. We're starting to zoom out a little more even. Yeah, and it's because we've had, bottom of the deck is the Hermit. In September, we're getting this Hermit energy that's giving us this really, like, yeah, okay, September might be a bit of a quiet month for some of you guys. But it's giving you this really otherworldly perspective almost about the things that have been going on, and the stuff that confuses you, and the stuff that's been stressing you out, and the stuff that, whatever, you know. Cool, interesting already. I'm gonna get 4 today. Love it. There's a lot of blue here. This is the Anima Mundi deck, by the way. Okay, so express yourself. Some of you guys are going through some third chakra stuff. Lots of third chakra stuff. So express yourself. Be authentic. True, okay? And a lot of you, this is going to be, look, there's the broadcast symbols again, right? This is like, some of you guys are light workers, some of you guys are spiritual workers yourselves, and they're saying, please do, like, be very careful with broadcasting messages to large groups of people when you are not able to pick up your own subtle messages. They're saying, be very careful to be sure to be balanced when you are making your posts, when you are going out into the world, when you are standing on your soapbox, you know, like if you're somebody that people look up to for advice, for example, be very careful with what you broadcast. All right. It's one of these, you are what you eat kind of scenarios. Yeah. So be very careful. You've got a responsibility when you're somebody that passes on messages to be sure that you're passing on the message that is to the highest good and to the greatest good. And if you're wearing a filter yourself, you might not be seeing the messages for what they truly are. Yeah. Staying safe. You're falling back on this. Some of you guys are falling back on a habit. It's like with regards to your expression, it's like you always used to express, it's an opinion. I'm hearing a lot of you guys have a certain opinion that you just always hold, and it's just, it feels safe. Or there's a place that you always hold on to, or a person that you always hold on to, a job you're holding on to, because it's just like, you know that that's what you always do, right? But it's not been authentic to you. Maybe at one time it was, right? But you outgrew it and didn't notice that you outgrew it. And now it's just becoming a stress on you to maintain that stance. It's becoming a burden on you to carry on behaving the way that you always did, and you always expected yourself to need to express yourself or react or work or love or sing or I don't know, whatever it may be. And the last thing is temper tantrum. You're really, yeah, a lot of you guys are really properly freaking out about this. You're like, no, I don't want to let go of this thing. No, this is my truth. No. Stamping your feet on the ground. But they're just singing it to me again. You can own, what is it? How does it go? You can own the earth until, wait, no, sorry. How does it go? You can own the earth, and still all you'll own is earth until you can paint with all the colors of the wind. There's all kinds of stuff going on, and you're feeling like you just can't get a handle on it. As above, so below. The The storm happening around you is because there's a storm happening inside. And it is purely because there is something old that you feel safe in, that you are not letting go of. But this is an energy that of it's so unnecessary. The world beats you up enough. Why are you beating yourself up too? All right? You're beating your fists on the ground so hard, but they're just bloody, and you're the only one that suffers from that. Okay, dears, that's it for me. I will see you tomorrow, the 10th of September 2021, live on Instagram for the moon transit through Scorpio. But until then, I'm sorry for anything you're going through. And I'm sorry if I've made you feel a certain way. Thank you so much for being a beautiful being and for lending your energy to this gorgeous circuit that I hold so dear. Thanks to your guides, my guides, the Ascended Masters, the angels, the ancestors, the dragons, the fairies, and whoever else may have lended their energy to this circuit to get these nice, clear, concise messages for our highest good. I love you to the moon and the stars and to infinity and beyond and back, and I accept this, and I hope you do too. And if not, that's totally fine. We'll catch you another time. All right. Bye.